Welcome Hot Toy Collectors, this is FanWagon. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys our second Hot Toys review on none other than Marvel's most anticipated villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. Let's go ahead and check out the box. Alright everyone, so as you can see here we have a rather large box with a huge picture of the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. This is a figure picture, this isn't a picture from the movie. In my opinion, this is a great looking box. You know, I really do like the background. Guardians of the Galaxy was actually a really good movie in the Marvel Universe. I'm happy that they kind of differed from what they did do with Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, and kind of took it to outer space to really bridge a gap to this man right here, Thanos. Now, on the front of the box, like I said, we do have a picture of Thanos himself. On the bottom, we have Thanos and MMS 280. Now let's go ahead and get a side shot of the box. A back view of the box where you have that big G, which I'm assuming stands for Guardians of the Galaxy. We also have the warning and the cast and crew on the inside there. We have this side of the box, which is pretty much the same as the other one. Now this box is pretty huge, so you know, I do recommend keeping your Hot Toys boxes in case you ever do want to transport or move these. On the inside, one thing with this box, I wish that they would have came with foam inserts, not just a plastic kind of tearaway thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top. Got a little Guardians of the Galaxy logo, pretty sweet. Alright, so let's get the figure in this shot and pull out some of the accessories. Alright everyone, so this is what comes in this big huge box. Doesn't look like a lot, but, you know, primarily what's in this box is a stand and the figure, which are massive. You have his stand, his chair that he sits on stands 22 inches tall, and Thanos himself around 14 to 15. Now, as accessories, it doesn't come with a bunch. As you can see, I do have the front garment on, so he's sitting because that's how I pose him. You do want to make sure that you guys read your instructions, read the warnings, learn how to pose this figure, because you can break something really easy, especially those things which I actually did on my figure. Now, you also have his standing kind of cloak thing, and he's also going to come with a pair of fisted hands and kind of a pair of relaxed hands that you know, actually are my favorite. Now, one thing with these hands is that they are crazy detailed, and one thing about the figure that I do love more than anything is actually the head sculpt, because you really do see Josh Brolin's face in this figure, and I think Hot Toys did an amazing job, but very far from a perfect figure. So let's go ahead and get into some articulation with Thanos himself. Alright guys, so here he is, the man of the hour, Thanos himself. Now, this figure has some crazy detail to it. Articulation isn't the best, but it's not the worst that I've ever seen on a Hot Toy. He is limited to pretty much no dynamic poses, but this figure should be more stoic and kind of standing and staring and intimidating, you know, with his stand that he comes with. You're primarily pretty much going to have this guy posing on that stand, just sitting there, so don't get into too many crazy poses with your guys' figures. So let's go ahead and start with the head. Now, head sculpt, which, like I said, I love on this figure, really captures a likeness of Josh Brolin, the actor who plays him. Now, you can turn his head left and right. Now, don't spin it all around because you could end up chipping some of the paint on the back of the neck. Now, as for looking down, looks down pretty good. Head going up, you don't get much of a thing. So let's go into that, where he's at. Okay, so let's go ahead, move into the arms. Now, one thing with the arms, you can get these right up to 90 degrees pretty easily. No struggle there. One thing I don't like about this figure, and I'll kind of touch on some more things when we get towards the end, is that this figure costs a lot of money, but they kind of put the joints right out in the open, and you know, I think that they could have covered them with some armor plates. So, elbow joints, bending, it's not too bad. It's enough for him to be kind of sitting on his throne, which is pretty much going to be like this. But, you know, it's not bad. Let's get into some wrist articulation. Now he can fully swivel. You do want to be careful because he does have kind of this little gauntlet part that does cover the hand. You don't want to chip any of the paint that's on these hands because they do take a long time to make these. Wrist articulation up and down. Like I said, it's not the greatest. That's one thing that I do have a complaint about this figure, is that you can't really throw him in a lot of dynamic poses. So let's go ahead, get into waist articulation. You got minor. You have no ab crunch, obviously because this is all solid here, but you do have minor waist articulation, not much. As for the legs, they are on ratchet joints. So if you guys know what that means, you know that means that they're a little bit stiffer. And I actually prefer kind of the ratchet joints. You get them on a lot of the 1/4 scale figures. Since he's so big, that's probably why they put him on this. So you can get his leg up pretty high. Just don't throw him in any ninja kicks, you know. Doesn't need to be in that kind of stance. As for bending the leg, as you can see, you get 2 bends, which is great. I love that they do that, you know, with figures that double bend, which really helps him out when he's sitting on the throat. So, as for his feet, it's one of my big kind of complaints because he doesn't have great ankle pivot. And that's kind of a thing that they should have on these because it really does help pose these. So, what you do have, though, is a little up and down. It's not a lot. It's really not. And it's really stiff. And you can kind of go back and forth. But as for ankle pivot, it's minor. But it's not good. It actually kind of sounds like it's ripping some of the plastic. Don't worry, it shouldn't be. So, that's it for articulation on the Mad Titan. Let's go ahead and jump into his stand that he comes with, which is probably one of my favorite things about this figure. Alright guys, now on to the last thing with this figure that it comes with that is actually kind of the drawing point that made me buy this, is the stand itself. Now this thing is beautifully crafted, it's sturdy. You are going to want to be careful when putting in these plastic tubes. That kind of gives it that floating effect, because these will crack if you push them in too hard. Same thing with these little elbow things that makes it look like these rocks are floating. One big complaint with this that I wish I would have known before I bought was that there's LED lights in here and they look great when they're turned on, but turning them on is the issue. They're located under all of these, which I'll get you guys a shot towards the end of those, but you have to unscrew a part, take that out, turn on the switch, screw it back in, and it's just not worth it to me. That was one thing that I was highly upset about. They could have put a switch, you know, on the back of these or something. Another thing that I'm not completely happy about, not a total deal breaker when it comes to this hot toy, it's this base. I wish they could have done something different here, because I hate these little paper parts that they put on here, and this name tag just looks cheap, and the cost of this figure is a lot of money, and I wish that they could have done this like in stone or something, or done some kind of stone work here. I think that would have looked pretty cool, especially with how these turned out, and these look amazing. So that's going to be it for this stand and Thanos review. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to shoot over and get you guys some high definition clips of you know, shots of different poses that we can do, and some of the details. Alright guys, that'll bring this review to an end. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with all of your friends. And we're going to have some more Hot Toys coming to you guys. We're not only going to have Hot Toys, we're going to have comic book movie discussions. It's going to be great. We're going to do trailer breakdowns and stuff like that. Maybe even get into some theories. So, stick around till our next video. Thank you guys for joining. Like I said, like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Thank you.